We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live. Jaron Boots Ennis does not place Terence Crawford on his personal Mount Rushmore, despite being a 3-division undisputed champion. No other male has done that. Boots still ain't putting him on the top 4. In this video, that's what I'll break down. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, some of you guys DM me this and sent me this, wanted my opinion. Jaron Boots Ennis, he basically did kind of like a community day or something, and there was a media scrum. And in that, reporters were asking him about Canelo Crawford. And let me tell you guys this. Boxing media has gone down a lot since I first started, right? A lot. Like, we're in a space where I feel like a lot of these press conferences and media scrums, they all seem very generic. Like, I can't tell you the last interview where I felt I truly learned about one of these fighters, like something I never knew, and I just learned about X, Y, and Z fighter because some brilliant question was being asked and then the fighter like revealed it. It's been a while, bro. It's been a while. A lot of the questions are just very generic. Oh, hey, what do you think of this fight? And when I'm listening to the Boots, first of all, he's kind of grizzly. Like, he not worried about like getting a taper, his hair, his beard. He's in camp mode. That's the first thing. So for me, I tried to like read the room, like when I was covering fights and doing the live interviews, try to read the room. I could tell by looking his fights in 2 weeks. I could tell by looking at him, he like really just in camp mode right now. He looked grizzly, not getting no haircuts. He just working. First fight, new division versus Lima or whatever. So that's just what he's working on. And the questions kept coming, but he didn't look like he wanted to answer a lot of them. We'll just put it that way. He didn't look like he wanted to answer it. As far as fighting Crawford, he was like, I'm not even worried about that. My focus is my upcoming fight. He said basically people, they get into trouble, and that's where it's a bit slippery when a fighter is so focused on the future that they don't worry about what's in front of them directly. That's when you can make mistakes. So he's like, I'm not making a mistake. I don't care about nothing else but who I'm about to fight. Now, the other part that, again, you guys sent me this because it's a video, and he was basically asked, does he place Terence Bud Crawford on his Mount Rushmore of best ever fighters? And he very frankly says, no, I don't. And, the follow-up question was something to the effect of, Crawford beat Canelo, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I'm just paraphrasing. You could check it out yourself. But he basically was like, yo, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody can have their own personal, subjective Mount Rushmore. But I like what I like. And I respect him for saying that. Like, ain't nobody finna force. I'm the exact same way. I don't care if everybody in the world say Crawford is on Mount Rushmore. To be honest, Crawford's great. He's a great fighter. He's not on my Mount Rushmore either, right? And that's not a knock on him. You guys, I know the Bud buddies will be like, oh, you're hating. Bro, If you want to put him on your Mount Rushmore, have at it. I'm not. That's my personal opinion. I'm not putting him on my Mount Rushmore. Not that he's not talented, but it's Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore is of all time. Mount Rushmore, there's only 4 spots. Not 5, not 10, 4. There's 4 spots, so I got to save those spots for fighters that I want on there. So I respect Jaron Boots Ennis for keeping it a bean and saying no, he's not on my Mount Rushmore, right? And rightfully so. He wanted to fight Crawford. Crawford didn't give him the look. Like, why would he? You don't owe Crawford nothing. Crawford don't owe him nothing, But he did elaborate that his Mount Rushmore, and I thought his Mount Rushmore was very good. He said Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker. He said he's getting into Sugar Ray Leonard a lot, and James Toney. That's similar. That's very, very similar to mine. But it's hard. But I have Muhammad Ali on there, and then Ray Robinson. But he's young. He's younger than me, so he probably not on Ray Robinson. But ask Roger Mayweather, or go back. I obviously can't ask him, but go watch old Roger Mayweather. He know what it is. Ray Robinson is the GOAT. So I thought that was fair. And he said Roy Jones Jr. That's another person, which is definitely Roy's up there. Like Roy's. I told you I grew up on Roy. Didn't I say that, baby? Pensacola in the hat. Yeah, but people are making a big to-do about this. This is his personal list. You don't have to put Crawford on there. I'm not putting Crawford on there. Y'all can just be. I'm a YouTuber. I don't care. I get it all the time. Some people like what I say. Some people hate. I don't care. Y'all can do whatever y'all want in the comment section. Subscribe, unsubscribe. He's still not on my Mount Rushmore. Here's the thing. I respect the heck out of Crawford. I think Crawford is a talented fighter. I think Crawford has done well for himself. He had shown up in these big moments primarily recently in his career. But for me, this was brought to my attention. I was talking to the homie, and Crawford has beaten 6 or 7 champions. 7 champions. But when you look at Floyd Mayweather beat 20-something champions in his career. So we're talking about different things, bro. That's like 3x. 3x. Now, hear me out. The amount of fights Crawford has and the amount of fights Floyd has ain't that different. If I'm not mistaken, this is a freestyle. But Crawford got 42-0. Mayweather is 50-0. But just think about that. Floyd beat 25 former current champions and all this stuff in his career in 50 fights. He got to be the GOAT. TBE. Look it up. Nobody has beaten more. Sugar Ray, not Canelo, blah, blah, blah. Floyd. Floyd got the most, right? And Floyd moved up multiple weight classes. Check. Because I know a lot of you guys use that, even though Hagler only fought at 1 weight class, right? Some of the bigger guys only fought at 2, like Evander Holyfield. Mike Tyson only fought at 1. You know what I mean? And people put him on the list, but some people act like it's mandatory. You have to move up 1,000 weight classes like Pacquiao, but whatever. Anyway, Floyd in 50 fights beat the most champions of all time in only 50 fights. Not 89, 100 plus like Chavez or something in 50 fights. Very impressive. Versus Crawford got 42 fights, and he got 2 Hall of Famers, Errol Spence and Canelo, on his whole resume. It's not the same, bro. And that, again, here's the problem with Crawford. Crawford made poor choices. Remember I used to say bad business, bud? it's because of early point in his career. He wasn't getting the fights. He wasn't getting the looks. He re-signed the Top Rank. And that's why he was talking about, I thought about quitting boxing and all that. That's probably somewhere in that Top Rank career where he was having this. He was like, I've been through HELL and back, at his acceptance speech. Right? So this is what Crawford said out of his own mouth. So he's been through some trials and tribulations. He wasn't getting the top fights. And unfortunately, those were like prime years where if you had more names, then now what you're doing it would just be like undeniable. But for me, you can't have the body of work that he had prior to the Errol Spence fight, right? And then you have Errol, Madrimov. Madrimov is cool. Madrimov was a brand new champion. So that, to me, that doesn't impress me as much as other people, especially when I seen Virgil Ortiz handle him better. But really, Errol, Madrimov is cool. And then Canelo. So Errol and Canelo. So that is it. You know what I mean? And I feel like Crawford is experiencing kind of like a renaissance because he got these looks. He's a late bloomer and he got these looks late in his career. But if I'm being a thou wow, Errol went through a car accident and had injuries which prevented him from fighting Pacquiao. This is documented. Then Crawford fought him. So I don't know if, like, looking at how the fight played out and how Errol looked, I really can't say that was the best version of Errol we had ever seen. And then same thing with Canelo. And I said all of this before the fights, right? I told you Canelo Alvarez. So it's not like, oh man, Canelo, why are you saying this now? I got videos where I was saying it before about Canelo. Go watch my post fight on William Skull. I was like, Canelo looked horrible. And then before he was cherry picking, not fighting David Benavidez, like I said, and he was picking on Berlanga, never been a champion, flat footed, not really like a ring savant, savvy type of person. And Munguia ain't either. And Munguia started off at like 54. Like these aren't guys like that. So is when you really break it down, it's no wonder Crawford beat him and how he did, because the only obstacle he had to get through is Canelo's experience and his size and potentially power. But once we seen that Canelo was fighting one-dimensionally, his experience didn't really matter because he wasn't using no crazy tricks. He wasn't even using a jab. He was just walking straight up to Crawford, like, trying to gun him down. Like, it just doesn't work. And then when he did land, Crawford took the shots well. So Crawford, probably his team was like, oh, he should have been moved up to the 160s. So it looks like Crawford, I don't want to overdo it with like the weight bullying stuff, but kind of, It looks like Crawford has toned down and, was fighting in the lighter weight classes when he probably could have or should have moved up before this. And he stayed because he's disciplined and able to do those crazy weight cuts. So pretty much everything Boxer Ego said. Remember when him and Errol Spence both looked weight drained before the fight, and I was saying that before the fight, but I did focus a little bit more on Crawford because Crawford, it was more uncharacteristic. We knew Errol Spence, he had been telling you, I got to leave this division. I can't keep making this division. We knew Errol was ballooning up. So I was just looking for Errol to be in shape for the Crawford fight. But Bud's face was looking sunken for the Errol Spence fight. He recovered and replenished well, and he was able to beat Errol Spence. So it is what it is. Ain't no love lost. I agree with Jaron Ennis. Crawford does not go on my top 4 of all time. And I said this before the fight because he was like, I got to be on Mount Rushmore. Listen, Bud's great at what he does. If you put him on your Mount Rushmore, enjoy. But I can't, because I look at the totality of your career, who your opponents were, when you fought them, you know, what were they known for? Like, let's be real. Don't lie to me in the comment section. Canelo's fall from grace, I kind of been there for a minute. Ain't nobody was saying Canelo was top 3 pound for pound. I don't even know anyone who said that Canelo was for real top 5. Old media was just kind of keeping him hanging on maybe in the back half of the top 10, just because he's an old media darling and a name and he has a good resume. But, you know, he wasn't no spring chicken. It is what it is, you know. And you could get mad, but I'm only being real. Let me know if Crawford's on your top 4 Mount Rushmore in the comment section. For more boxing news, subscribe. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.